All right, another one of our top stories today, soaring gas prices shaping up to be a big new concern for Democrats and the president. Many Americans now blaming the party for the sticker shock at the pump. Prices up more than $1 in the past year. The national average now $3.86 a gallon. President Obama addressing the issue over the weekend.
On Thursday, my Attorney General also launched a task force with just one job: rooting out cases of fraud or manipulation in the oil markets that might affect gas prices, including any illegal activity by traders and speculators. We're going to make sure that no one is taking advantage of the American people for their own short-term gain.
Bob Beckel worked in President Carter's White House. Andrea Tantaros, conservative columnist. Both of them are Fox News contributors. Welcome to both of you.
Good morning.
Thank you, Allison.
All right, so there are some new polls out that suggest that Americans are blaming Democrats more than they blame Republicans for this spike in oil prices. But Andrea, isn't this a bipartisan problem? What can President Obama really do?
Well, I mean, look, for years, Republicans and Democrats have argued over how to go about drilling in this country and energy policy. But look, Obama, as do most presidents, pay the price when the cost goes up at the pump. And he's actually worked counter to lowering oil costs. You've seen him buck drilling here at home. You know, his only real energy plan to date has been demonize oil companies, try and take away their subsidies, which would have very little effect for a very long time, stop drilling here at home, demonize these oil companies, offer and encourage people to get tax credits to buy hybrid cars, which didn't work as part of the recovery plan, and now a task force. I mean, presidents have done these task forces in the past, and they haven't worked. So I think the public's looking at the president, he's looking at inflation, and they're saying, what has he done about it? Nothing.
Bob, Andrea talks about how the president is demonizing oil companies, and in these same polls, many more people blame the oil companies than blame Democrats or Republicans. So is this feeling that the president can exploit politically, as it seems he's trying to do?
Yeah, I think to a limited extent, although Andrew didn't point out that the president also in polls is responsible, according to the Republicans, for the tornadoes that we have too. So, but the fact is that a sitting president is going to pay a price for any immediate pocketbook issues. And there is no more immediate pocketbook issue than gas prices, because people face it every day. And so in the short term, in any event, the president is going to take a hit, the party a little bit. But I think the thing that gave him a little bit of a break today is that the oil companies are announcing now their first quarter profits, which are record profits. And that does give him an opportunity to turn back on the oil companies. The other thing is $4 billion in tax breaks for oil companies when they're making $10, $12, $15 billion in a quarter simply doesn't make any sense. So he's got that going for him. But look, in the end, if oil prices are $4 or $5 a barrel come Election Day in 2012, it's going to have a severe impact on the president, probably some Democrats. I don't think that'll happen, but
it absolutely will happen. Oil companies aren't on the ballot, so he can demonize them all he wants. You talk about tax credits for oil companies, taking away these tax credits, again, very little effect for a long time, and it would likely be passed on to you and me and the viewers.
Well, the president did talk about that in his web address, and he talked about why are we subsidizing the oil companies for $4 billion. Bob, is that a message that's resonating with Americans?
Yeah, I think it does, because as the poll indicated, they blame oil companies first. Now, I actually blame speculators first. A lot of it, look, there's plenty of oil around the world. We know that. This is nothing different today than there was last year, except there's probably even a little more capacity. But speculators are driving up the price of this because of the unrest in the Mideast. That's the way that they go about making and gouging profits. But I think the oil companies are a pretty good target for Obama. At least it's something he's got his hands on as we head into the summer months,
Bob,
when it's really an impact.
People get that we need to drill at home. When the president's out talking about how he wants to encourage drilling in Brazil, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And when he banned all the drilling permits after BP...
So, Bob, very quickly, I mean, is drill, baby, drill going to come back as a battle cry?
You're not going to drill our way out of this. They drill, baby, drill. The Republicans used that until gasoline prices came down. Gasoline prices will come down again, and hopefully in time for 2012 with the elections.
All right. Well, meanwhile, let's hope that they come down again. Andrea Tantaros, Bob Beckel, thanks so much for debating it.